Hi everyone, today's video is a compilation of my previous Christmas DIYs. I got this sign from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to use a box cutter to cut out the home piece that's in the middle. And then I paint over this wee pumpkin design in the background with some ivory Waverly chalk paint. And I have these wee Christmas trees and I'm just going to put some of the spackle from Dollar Tree in the holes on the top of the stars. And once it's dry, I just gave it a wee sand off. And then I have some green paint, classic green paint by Folk Art, and I'm just painting the leaf part of the tree. And then for the bottom part, I'm using some brown chalk paint. I can't remember the colour of it, but any brown paint will do. And for the next tree, I just made the paint a little bit lighter, adding some of that ivory chalk paint. And each time I painted a tree, I added more of the ivory to make it lighter. And then I painted the stars gold. So I'm just putting the lighter trees at the back, and then the next darker tree, I'm going to hot glue. Oh, I need to put a couple of bits of popsicle sticks so that they'll sit right. I glue them down like this, and then the darkest tree I glue in the middle. And this is how it turned out. I think it turned out really cute, nice wee simple Christmas DIY. This Let It Snow sign is from Dollar Tree, so I'm just going to paint it with some Waverly Ocean chalk paint. And I just brushed it on and then I wiped it off because I didn't want to look like it was totally painted. And so you would see that it's wood through it. And then I took the back off the snowflake so it would sit flat. And then I just hot glued it over the snowflake on the sign. And I was going to leave it like this, but then I decided to add some snow to it. So I just get some Mod Podge and a paintbrush, and I just put some wee dots of Mod Podge all over the word snow, and then I sprinkle some of the fake snow from Dollar Tree over that, and this is how it turned out. I love these wee ballerinas from Dollar Tree. So I cut the little part off the top that holds the hanger, and then I have 3 of these mini canvases, and I was going to use this pool colour but then I changed my mind and I decided to paint them in the ocean colour. So I did the same thing with the snow and the Mod Podge, but I obviously forgot to record that part. And all I'm doing is hot gluing the ballerinas in place. And then I have 3 tower blocks, so I'm just going to glue one to the back of each of these at an angle. You could also make this into a hanging sign with put some popsicle sticks on the back to join them together and hang them with some beads or something. That would be nice. After I'd glued these on, I decided that I needed extra blocks, so I go ahead and glue them on as well. You see they're not standing up. So this is where I go and glue on the extra blocks. And then they stand up nice. I decided it wasn't finished yet, so well, this is me deciding if I was going to add on extra snow. And then I decided to add on some extra snow at the bottom, so I just used some hot glue and just put a wee thin line of hot glue at the bottom and then add on the snow. And I think these turned out so pretty. I'm just going to pull off the little berries and stuff from this stag head from Dollar Tree and have one of these wee houses, so I'm just pushing the back out and then taking off all the extra paper that is still glued onto the frame. And after that I give it a sand just to make sure I get rid of it all. Well, so you can't see it. Doesn't matter if there's still some stuck to the back. And then I sanded off the back, and here is some of the Dollar Tree vinyl which I already cut out, and I'm just sticking that down to the house, well, the back of the house frame. And I just trim off any extra on the sides. And I decided to paint the frame with some Waverly Antique Wax and also this Mary sign. And I have this wee piece of, I pulled off another DIY and I painted that black and I painted the stag brown, and now I'm just hot gluing everything in place. And make sure you get rid of all the glue strings. I'm using that wee round piece as a plaque for the stag. And then I glue on the wee berries and leaves that came off it at the start. And this is how it turned out, and I think it turned out cute. I used the Dollar Tree vinyl and I printed off some words on my Cricut, and it was a bit of a struggle getting the vinyl off, but I managed it in the end. But if you use the Dollar Tree vinyl, put it on the washi tape setting, and this doesn't happen. It works much better. And I have a piece of wood from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just transferring the Dear Santa, I was naughty but it was worth it, to the wood. And I decided that I didn't like the plain wood, so I stained over it with some Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm just going to make it into a standing sign with some tower blocks. So I'm just hot gluing them together, and then I hot glue them on the back at an angle. I have a pack of pine cones and some Christmas floral from Dollar Tree, so I'm just cutting some pieces off to stick at the top of this sign to decorate it. And I just hot glue those pieces in place. And this is how it turned out. I paint this plaque with some white Waverly chalk paint, and then I take a paintbrush and I just brush over some Waverly Antique Wax. And then I just do it in sections and wipe it off with a cloth. And I'm only doing that around the edge of the plaque. And this wee truck and caravan are from the Cobblestone Corner collection from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going over it so it doesn't look so plastic with some red paint. And then I'm going to Mod Podge some of the fake snow over the white part of the plaque. You don't have to put the fake snow on it if you don't want to. I just put a piece of paper underneath so I can catch all the excess snow and put it back in the bag for later. And then I just left it to dry for an hour or so. And then here's some more of the cobblestone corner pieces. So I'm just going to put a couple of Christmas trees and I'm going to hot glue them down. And I have a wee Santa and snowman and a sign that says Santa stop here or something like that. I can't remember. You'll see at the end what it says. Or it's a sign to the North Pole. I think that's what it was. So I just place the pieces on and then glue them in place with some hot glue. And now I'm putting some Mod Podge and fake snow on the top of these pieces. And I don't use the Santa and the snowman, I keep them for later. I just used the sign that was in that packet. I think this turned out so cute. They are going to the North Pole for Christmas. So this is where that wee wood piece came from in the stag DIY. I took it from this wee frame that I got from Dollar Tree a long time ago. So I'm just taking the back off and sanding down any of the excess paper and taking this wooden piece off with a box cutter. I paint it with some Ocean Waverly chalk paint. And while that's drying, I take some other of the cobblestone corner pieces and I'm painting them black. They're already black, but I didn't want them to look like plastic. And then I have some green paint, so I'm just going over the little wreaths that are on the lampposts. And then I paint the berries with some red paint. And I printed off some, I don't know what it said, I can't remember. Oh yes, Merry Christmas on my Cricut with some gold vinyl. And just placing that at the top because I want to make a wee mini Christmas scene. So now I'm going to do the Mod Podge and just dot it all over this piece, and then I'm going to put the fake snow on the top so it looks like it's snowing in my scene. And then I'm going to put some snow on the bench. And then I did put a bit of glue, oh my god, snow on the very bottom of the picture. And now I'm just going to hot glue it all together. Oh, I painted to the back because it was a bit of a mess. And then I also put glue on the very bottom of the piece inside the frame. And now I'm just hot gluing the pieces in place. I glued together 2 sets of 5 tower blocks and 2 sets of 6 tower blocks, and I stained them with the Waverly Antique Wax. Then I painted this sign with some black chalk paint, and I got this gift bag from Dollar Tree, so I'm just going to cut out the picture on it because I thought the picture was really pretty and I wanted to make it into a picture frame. So I cut it out, and then I'm just using a glue stick to glue it to that sign. And I didn't want to cut down the frame because until I had stuck it to, I didn't want to cut down the sign until I had figured out how big the frame was going to be. So I stuck the frame together, and then I marked it out, and now I'm just cutting it down with a box cutter. You just have to score it a few times and then you can snap it off. And then I just hot glue it in place. I added some extra hot glue to the back. And then I stuck together some tower blocks so I could make it a standing picture. And then I glued them at an angle and added some extra tower blocks on. I just love this picture. It's so Christmassy and so pretty. Have one of these jolly signs, and I'm going to paint it with some ink Waverly chalk paint. And I printed off these camels, 3 wise men on the camels on my Cricut, and I'm just I cut them. It was a picture with 3 into 1, so I just cut them out individually and I stuck them down to these little glasses, and now I'm using some of the stickers from Dollar Tree to put around the bottom piece. And then I'm gluing together some oh my god, what is wrong with me today? I'm gluing together some tower blocks with some hot glue. You could use wood glue if you like. I just wanted to make a wee stand for the middle glass so that it sits higher than the other 2. And I printed off on my Cricut, "Wise men still seek him," and I'm just going to stick that down. I did it in 2 parts. I also painted the tower blocks black. and then I just hot glue it in place. I put some wee candles in here, and I love how this turned out. This was a longer DIY, but it was definitely worth it. I had this piece of cardboard that I got in something from IKEA, so I thought we'd use it. So I'm just cutting down some paint sticks to make a frame around it. So I'm just marking off with a pencil where I need to cut. And then I just saw it down, and I'll link the saw down below. I stained everything with some Waverly Antique Wax, and I just hot glued the glue sticks on, and then I put some extra hot glue on the bottom, the glue sticks, the paint sticks. And I'm using those stickers again, and these are the gold ones this time. So I'm just cutting them down, and I'm just going to put them all around the outside of this wee tray. I love these stickers, you can do so much stuff with them. So next I'm just cutting out some extra pieces that were left over and placing them inside the tray. And then I'm using just the wee half pearls to put in the middle of them. And I have these 3 different jars from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna paint them and make them into gold, frankincense and myrrh. I'm using some gold metallic paint, and I'm going to paint the inside of this jar. I want it to still look like glass on the outside, so I didn't want to paint the outside of it. And I think I had to give it 3 coats of paint. I'm mixing some green and gold paint together. And I'm putting it on the inside of this jar, because this one is mercury I can't even say it, mercury glass. So I still wanted that to show and still make it green. And this one I'm mixing some red and gold paint, and I'm doing it on the inside as well. You can paint the outside if you like, but I wanted to still show the glass. So now I'm just going to decorate them with some rhinestones and pearls from Dollar Tree. And I'm using some gem tack glue. And just putting some green rhinestones on. You can decorate them any way that you like. So I glue them all around the outside, but I finished the rest off camera. And then I put some of the red half pearls on. And this is what it turned out like. I did some blue as well. Here I have some of the pearl wrap, and I'm just going to glue it in the indent on this bottle. Oh my god. I'm using the gem tack glue again, and I skip 2 of the indents and then I put the next one on, and I just do that all the way around. And I also put some half pearls on that one too. And now I am just making some little tags that say gold, frankincense and myrrh on them. I'm just sticking it down to a popsicle stick. I printed it off on my Cricut. I'm sticking it down first because I'm not sure what size I need. I just sand off the jaggy edge. And I'm only going to show you one of them. I drilled a wee hole in it. And then I have some gold ribbon. I'm just going to thread it through the hole. And then I'm going to tie it onto the one that's going to be gold. Well, the one that is gold. It's going to be full of gold. You can put stuff inside if you want, but I didn't bother. So I just tied that on. And then I trimmed down the tag. And this is how it turned out. I just added some Spanish moss to look like straw. But I think it turned out really pretty. So I have this peace sign, and I'm just going to cut out the peace part with a box cutter. And then I'm just sanding off the edges. And then I'm going to paint it with some Waverly white chalk paint. And I have this Christmas ribbon with some snowflakes on it. So I'm just going to hot glue that around the outside. And after that's done, I made some wee scarves for these wee Christmas reindeers. You just have to make sure you cut off the little loop bit, that because they're supposed to be Christmas decorations. So just cut off that wee part. And then I made wee scarves and I just hot glued them in place. I wanted to look like they were kind of blowing a wee bit. You can use any colour ribbon for this. I really liked the white and the red together. So now I have some white Christmas trees, so I'm just deciding where I'm going to place everything. And then hot glue it down. I was going to use those wee blocks, but I didn't need them. And I only have 2 of these trees. If I had 3 of them, I would have put another one in the middle. And then I glued down the reindeers. And then I Mod Podged the snow down. You can put it down first, but the stuff doesn't stick as well or flat if you do it first. So I'm just Mod Podging in between everything, and then I'm going to put down the fake snow. Oh, I did have another tree. I used a wee small tree, but I would have used one of the bigger trees. and this is how it turned out. I just put a wee candle in the middle. I have a cloche from Dollar Tree, and I printed off this Christmas Town and Happy Holidays on my Cricut, and I'm just hot gluing a piece of that ribbon along the bottom of this. And then I'm just using some transfer tape to transfer the vinyl to the cloche. Sometimes it comes off easy, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just sticking it down. And I added the Happy Holidays to the top, and I put a puck light in the middle, and I'll link them down below. I just wanted to make a wee cute light with the Christmas Town. I thought this 3 Wise Men gift bag was so pretty and would go nice with my Wise Men gifts that I made earlier. So I'm just cutting it out with some scissors, and I'm using the side that has the fold because I wanted to keep the other side for something else. I don't know what, but I'm just cutting it down anyway so it can fit inside this frame. So I'm just using the glass to mark off where I want to cut it. And then I cut it out with some scissors. There were other gift bags last year. There was a Bethlehem one, but I could not find it anywhere. I think I'll look for that this year actually, see if they have the same ones again. So I'm just covering up those holes with some of the pieces that I cut off. I'm just using some glue stick to glue them down. And I'm going to paint the frame with some gold metallic paint. And just clean off the glass and then put everything back together. And see, it turned out so pretty and they go so nice together. This next DIY, I have 2 of these autumn leaves and pumpkins please signs from Dollar Tree, and I have some scrapbook paper. So I'm just cutting out, tracing off and then cutting out some pieces to stick down and cover up the words. And I thought this scrapbook paper could pass as snow. I'm just putting it back in. And then I have these 2 Christmas tree decorations. So I just cut off the tags. Well, I don't cut off the tag on the snowflake. I just keep it on and then hot glue it over the top because I couldn't cover up that hole and you can't see it on the reindeer. So these were nice, easy DIYs. And they turned out really nice. This is one of the wee drawers from Dollar Tree. So I take it apart, and then I wanted to make another square that was smaller than those two, so that I would have 3 different sizes. So I'm just making that with some tower blocks and some wood glue. If I could have found the little square wooden blocks, I would have used one of them, but I couldn't find any at the time. Then I stained everything with some Waverly Antique Wax, and then I'm just gonna attach some ribbons to make them into wee presents. And I saw someone else do this, I can't remember who it was, but I thought they were really cute, so I had to make some myself. So just tie it around. Well, the first piece I hot glued on, and then the next piece I tied it around, and then just tied a bow on the top. Not very good at bows. And then I just trimmed it down, and I did the same for the other two, but I used different ribbons for them. Oh, and I decided to put an extra piece around the middle. So I'm just doing that now. I just thread it underneath and then hot glued it down. And then hot glued it in place at the back. And this is how they turned out, and I think they turned out really cute. I got these different size snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and there are 2 different kinds, and then one giant one, and I'm just arranging them how I want them to sit. And I have some half pearls, and I'm going to stain some of the snowflakes with some Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm going to paint some others with the Ocean chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the pearls with the Ivory chalk paint. So this is what they look like. And now I'm just going to start sticking down the pearls where I want them. I'll only show you me putting the pearls on the big snowflake, and they are self-adhesive, and then I do the rest of them off camera. And you can put as many of them on as you like. If you can find the cream coloured ones, then you won't have to paint them. So this is what they look like. And I'm now using the twine that came with the snowflakes, and I'm putting the hanger that came with the big snowflake back on. And I'm just going to thread it through all the snowflakes. And I'm just using some gem tack glue to add some extra pearls on top of the holes where the twine is. And then I just arrange them again how I set them out in the first place. And then I start attaching them together with some hot glue. So this DIY took a wee while, but it's definitely worth it. I'm trying to get the distance between them all worked out. So once I'd done that, I was trying to decide which rope I was going to use. I decided on the brown nautical rope. So now I'm just attaching all the snowflakes in place on the rope, and I'm just going to hot glue them in place so they don't move around. And you can just eyeball it, but I used a ruler. And this is how it turned out, and I love how it turned out. It looks so pretty on the wall. I have a wooden sign from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to take out the hanger, and I have a Happy Holidays nutcracker that I printed off on my Cricut. I don't know if you can hear my dog's claws on the floor. And then for some reason it did not want to come off on the transfer tape. Anyway, I eventually got it off, and I stuck it down onto the wooden piece and pulled it off. Then I stained it with some Waverly Antique Wax, and then I'd already put the hanger back in. And I just pulled off the vinyl, and there was loads of wee pieces on this, but it's a nice neutral, easy Christmas DIY. I have another wee wooden sign from Dollar Tree, and I printed off these gingerbread men on my Cricut. So I'm just going to stick them down. And then I'm using some Waverly Antique Wax and some red and green paint. So I'm going to start with the red paint. And I cut out some wee pieces of sponge, as I just want to paint the, well, 3 of the hearts red, the other 2 green, and then the gingerbread men are going to be done with the Waverly Antique Wax. You can of course make yours any color you like. Next, I took off the vinyl, and then I used some ivory chalk paint to colour in the eyes and the mouth and the little bands on the arms and legs of the gingerbread men. Oh, and the buttons. And then I use the same paint just to dry brush around the outside of the wood to make a wee frame for it. And then I painted it along all the edges. And I think this turned out so cute. I'm going to paint this Christmas tree I got from Hobby Lobby with some Ocean Waverly chalk paint. And I got this blue wool from Walmart, and I have some twine which is from Dollar Tree. And I just glued them together, and then I glued it to the top of the tree, and then I just start twirling it around the tree. And I just keep doing that all the way around. You can choose whichever colours you like for this. I don't know, maybe 3 colours might work, I don't know, I haven't tried it. But my living room is blue, so that's why there's a blue theme throughout this video. And then once you've done the top part, it's easy, you can just twist it. Twist the tree around. And then when you get to the end of the twine or the yarn, just glue it and then start the next piece. And you won't even notice where you've joined it. And then you just keep twisting around. And it didn't take too long to do this at all. And then when I got to the bottom, I just hot glued it. And I'm going to make 3 different Christmas trees, so I will show you the 3 of them at the end of this Christmas tree clip. And this is some floral foam, and I'm just cutting off the top just to make it a bit more pointy. I'm just using a box cutter for that. And it doesn't matter if it's messy because you're going to cover it up anyway. I painted it with some ivory chalk paint, and I painted this foam star with some ocean chalk paint, and I'm just going to glue some nautical rope around it, just like I did with the other Christmas tree. I'll start at the bottom this time and just glue it every so often. And this piece was just enough to cover it, this piece of rope. So I just put some extra glue on the top, and then I hot glue the star on the top of that. So I have this little ornament from Dollar Tree, so it has gold on the bottom and it had black on the top. So I am just painting over the black part with some Ocean Waverly chalk paint. I think I gave it 2 coats. I can't remember. Of course you can make these any colour you like. I don't know if they still have these out, but this is what they all look like together. I have another wooden sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm just covering up the holes with some spackle, which is also from Dollar Tree. And then once it's dry, I just give it a wee sand. And I found this nativity scene on Cricut Design Space, so I just printed it off in black. And sometimes the vinyl just doesn't want to stick to the transfer paper. So I eventually get it off. And then I stick it down to the wooden sign. Had to put the wee tail back on. And then I'd stained it with some Waverly Antique Wax. I don't know why I didn't show yet. And then I'm using some tower blocks to turn it into a standing sign, and I just stick them with some hot glue to the back. And I have some black paint, and I'm just going to dry brush it around the outside. So I wanted this to look like a silhouette with the light shining from behind, if that makes sense. So I just keep putting on the black paint until I'm happy with how it looks, and this is how it turned out. And it's a nice neutral sign. This is a really easy DIY. I have 2 of these snowflake bowls, and I just hot glue one on top of the other. And I filled it with some fake snow, and I put a wee candle inside. You could always fill it with some candy. And this reindeer is also everything's from Dollar Tree. So I'm just cutting off the tag and pulling off the ribbon from the front, and I'm painting, I painted the antlers gold and the rest of it blue. I don't know why I didn't show yet. And this is a wooden piece from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gluing on 4 wee blocks on the bottom, and I stained it with some antique wax, and then I'm just going to glue the reindeer to the top. And this is how it turned out. You could put some fake snow on here if you wanted to, but I just wanted to keep it simple. So this is an old tray that I had in my house that someone gave me. I never used it. So I thought I would use it for this DIY. So I'm just gluing some floral foam to it, and then I am taking a box cutter just to carve it out a little bit, because this is going to be like a wee mountain in the background for my winter scene. Don't throw those bits away because I want to stick them to the front so it doesn't look so square. And after that I painted it with some white Waverly chalk paint. And I have all these wee Christmas trees. Some are from Dollar Tree, some are from Hobby Lobby. And then I have these little tins. The big one was from Dollar Tree, and the smaller ones were from Target the year before. So I'm just arranging all the trees, cause it's gonna be a Christmas forest. And then put the wee tin houses. So I just keep adding on the trees. I'll glue them down once I'm happy with how they're placed. So now I'm happy with how it looks. I decided to use some blue paint and make a lake. But it didn't quite work out how I wanted to. But anyway, I painted the lake. And then I put some hot glue around the outside. And then, this was why it was still wet. And then I used some Mod Podge, and I just did the same thing I did earlier, and just put the Mod Podge in between all the trees and everything. You could put the fake snow down first, but I think everything sticks better if you do it after. So I'll keep applying the Mod Podge. And while the Mod Podge is still wet, you want to apply all the fake snow. And just scatter it all over and press it down a wee bit. Make sure it covers all the Mod Podge. And then take off any excess. I just wasn't happy with how this lake looked. So I put some white paint on it. And then I put some more fake snow on the top. I put some wee candles in the big one. And then in these wee houses as well. And this is how it turned out, and it turned out cute in the end, even though my lake didn't turn out how I wanted it to. So I have this wee sleigh and reindeer from Dollar Tree. I painted them with some of the ocean chalk paint. And I have some glitter, so I just sprinkle a wee bit glitter on it. If you don't like glitter, you don't have to put it on, but I wanted to give it a wee bit of sparkle since the reindeer had some. I have this "'Tis the Season" sign, and I wanted to keep the snowflakes on the side, so I just paint the top with some white Waverly chalk paint. And then, while it was still wet, I put some of the fake snow on it. And then I hot glued a wee ribbon to the sleigh. And then I just hot glued the sleigh and the reindeer to the sign. While the hot glue was still wet, I just put on some extra fake snow. And it didn't want to stick, so you just put more on. And then I have some of the silver pearl wraps. I just wrap it around and then glue it to the sleigh. Did I glue it? No, I just wrapped it around the sleigh. And I just wrapped it around the wee handles. And then I put a Christmas tree in the back of the sleigh. And that's it for this one. And it turned out cute. You can make it any colour you like. You don't have to use blue. These are the cobblestone corner houses. And I'm going to paint them with the ocean chalk paint. And then I'm going to dry brush them with some ivory chalk paint. So this is what they look like. I love how they turned out. And then I have some more cobblestone corner pieces. I'm also going to paint them the same way. I do leave the green part of the plant green. So I have another wooden sign, and I just take the hanger out and then I fill the holes with the wood filler. And I just bought it and it did not want to come out the bottle. So you can just use this spackling from Dollar Tree, definitely much easier than this. I had so much trouble just to fill those wee tiny holes. I think I was going to stain it, but then I changed my mind. So now I'm just building a wall around it with some tower blocks. And I do have to cut a couple down using that wee saw. And I just sanded down the wood filler, and then I just glued all the tower blocks in place with some of the Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. That side was obviously better. Yeah, I had to figure out where they all went this time. Again. And then I dry brushed these little pieces, the cobblestone corner pieces, once they were dry. And when the glue was dry, I painted the wooden piece with some white Waverly chalk paint. And then I just added on the wee Christmas trees and pieces that I painted earlier, and I didn't glue anything down, and this is how it turned out. This is what it looks like with the light on, and these pieces light up, so in the next clip you'll see them lit up. And then this is what they look like lit up. And this next DIY, I have a candle holder from Dollar Tree and this piece of floral foam, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the top, and then I start gluing tower blocks all around the outside of it. You can stain them first if you want to, but then I stain them with some Waverly Antique Wax. And I have these candles from Dollar Tree. I wasn't sure which one I was going to use for it. And then I have a holly pick, so I just cut all the holly pieces off. And then I made a hole for the big candle. And then I just glued it in. It has like a little plastic bit on the end where you could take it off, and you can still, the screw part for the battery is still on it. And then I'm just adding on some reindeer moss. I just hot gluing it down, watch your fingers. And then I just added on the holly pieces. I didn't like how the hollow pieces were sitting, so I decided to hot glue them all down. And this is how it turned out. You could make like 2 or 3 of these and put them on your table. This is one of those wee frames from Dollar Tree that had a succulent inside, but I used the succulent for something else, so I'm just taking some pliers to take off the hot glue and the wee wire piece that was in it that was holding down the succulent. And then I'm going to paint it with some white Waverly chalk paint. And then using these wee Christmas trees from Hobby Lobby, I'm using a bigger one in the middle and the smaller ones at the side. Actually, I think these might be from Dollar Tree. Anyway, I hot glue them in place. They might be from both. I think this turned out so cute. You can always make a hanger for it and put it on your Christmas tree. And I have one of these Inspire signs from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it with some white Waverly chalk paint. And I have more of the Christmas trees, so I'm going to put some bigger ones in the corners. And then the wee ones in between them, and then I'm going to hot glue them all down. And I just put a wee candle in the middle. And I have 3 of these candle holders from Dollar Tree. They're black with a gold rim, but they are pretty scratched up. So I just paint them with some ink Waverly chalk paint, not the gold part though. And then I printed off Noel and some holly leaves on my Cricut with some gold vinyl. So I'm just going to attach them to the candle holders. This gold tray is from Dollar Tree, so I just put the candle holders on, and I have this pine cone wreath, also from Dollar Tree. So I just take it apart and I take all the pine cones off. And I just place them around. If I had 2 of those wreaths, I would have used 2 of them. And the wire part, I didn't want to waste it, so I just cut it into pieces. And then, well, actually, I twirled it around a pencil and then cut it into pieces. And I just put them all between the pine cones just to fill up the space. And I did that for the whole wire. And then I went and got a wee bag of pine cones from Dollar Tree and I put them in it as well. And this is how it turned out, and I think it turned out really cute. Oh, I didn't put the holly leaves on it. I have this Inspire sign. I painted it with some white Waverly chalk paint, and then I printed off a snowflake on my Cricut. And I'm just going to transfer it onto the sign. For some reason this vinyl wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And I just put those leftover pieces on. And then I paint the snowflake with some Waverly Ocean chalk paint. Well, I fill out these bits of vinyl first. I'd used a scrap piece to make this. Okay, once they're on, then I paint it with the ocean chalk paint and a wee piece of sponge. And I just dab that on. I did 2 coats, and then when the second coat was still wet, I put a sprinkling of glitter on it. This one is like called Blue Jeans or something from Hobby Lobby. And then I took the vinyl off. And so it turned up. This would be nice on a shelf or on a tier tray. And have this wee hanging decoration from Dollar Tree. And I printed off the word snowflakes and some snowflakes on my Cricut with some silver vinyl. So I'm just going to add them onto this piece. Once all that's on, I take a piece of blue ribbon and I just measure it, cut it, and then hot glue it on the bottom. And I start that at the back. And I made a wee bow for the top. After that, I got some Mod Podge and I painted it inside. I just painted it all over inside. You could do this bit first if you wanted to. And then I just put some of the fake snow inside, shaked it, and then I tipped out the excess snow. Then I just put a wee candle inside, and it's a cute wee hanging Christmas tree decoration. Let me know which of these DIYs is your favourite if you made it all the way to the end. Merry Christmas, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.